Sr., now 102, Rusty adored his dad.
He looked up to his father and wanted his father's point of view, and he followed it. He adhered to his father because he believed in him.
Rusty disappointed both of his parents when he dropped out of the local college after just a year to pursue a series of radio jobs.
My father set me down. Let me tell you what's going to happen, Rush. You're not going to make a decent salary. You're not going to maintain the social standing that you've become accustomed to. You won't find a decent girl to marry. What woman wants to marry a man who can't support her? All he ever did was insist that I get a college degree.
And I thought, what's he going to do? Being a disc jockey all his life, he's not going to, you know. But because I knew he could do better, I really did.
But for a while, he didn't. His radio career floundered. And in 1979, he left the business to take a sales job with the Kansas City Royals. He stayed 5 years.
I read something that you said then. You said, I have never been lower. I was empty, directionless, futureless.
I said, I'm 32 years old and I've blown it. I've got nothing to show for what I have done. I have failed at everything I've done. I've been fired from every job or been forced to quit every job.
So flop, 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 flop.
Yeah. I mean, I was always the guy with a lot of potential. And a friend of mine said, what do you do best? And I said, well, obviously what I do best is say things on the radio. Well, you've got to do that. You've got to go back to that. I said, no, I already failed at that. I already screwed that up. And I nevertheless went back to radio, and I was never better on the radio than after I'd been out of it for 5 years. And so it really began to blossom in 1984 when I moved to Sacramento, California. An immediate action.
It was in Sacramento that Limbaugh perfected his format of no guests, some telephone callers, and mostly non-stop host opinions.
Let's figure out how much we spend per person on health care.
He gets ready for each day's program with 3 to 4 hours reading. And even while he's on the air, he keeps up with news and electronic mail from listeners on his laptop computer. But when opportunity knocked, the chance to host a nationally syndicated program from New York, he found the transition difficult.
When I came to New York, I was a psychological mess. The fact is that in Sacramento, I was not just a big fish in a little pond. I was a whale in a bathtub. I mean, I owned the town. So I assumed there'd be some fanfare with the arrival. And there was none. Sacramento, where's that? You're going to do your show nationally? Who cares? And for the first 6 months, I was nobody. And in the business you and I are in, being nobody is tantamount to being a failure.
But his career blossomed in New York with stunning professional and financial success. Even his father stopped worrying.
Your father lived to see you successful.
He did. He did. Wildest imaginations probably were surpassed in the degree that he saw me. But
he saw you one night on Ted Koppel.
Saw me on Nightline. It was my first time. It was exactly 1 month before he died. And when the show was over, I talked to my mom later that night, and she told me how proud he was.
His dad turned around to me and he said, where did he get all that? How does he know this? And I said, well, he got it from you. And it really pleased him.
But as his public following grew, Limbaugh's personal life did not keep pace. After the microphones and cameras shut down, he seemed to as well.
He's very shy. He's very sweet.
Roger Ailes is Limbaugh's television producer
He loves people.
and his friend.
He sometimes comes across as more brusque than he intends.
Insecure?
We're all insecure. I think Rush wants to be loved.
You also had 2 marriages that went bust.
Yes.
Why?
Married for wrong reasons, I think. The best of intentions, for wrong reasons.
Were you a good husband?
Well, I think I was. Absolutely. I think I'm one of the best catches waiting now. I think I'm one of the best kept. Oh, really? When it comes to husbands, I think I'm one of the best kept secrets in America.
Your first wife said that you were so intent on your work there was nothing left for anyone else. Your second wife, Michelle, said you were a couch potato.
Look, you're identifying a lament that is common throughout most marriages at some point or relationships, and that is someone, either the husband or wife, is not paying enough attention. And, you know, men, I do think that men define their self-esteem by virtue of their careers. I think most women define their self-esteem or take it from the success of their relationship, their family, or their marriage.
Yeah, thank God for Rush Limbaugh. But these days, Limbaugh seems to prefer career women. He isn't seen often on the social circuit, but when he is, it's usually with women who've made a name for themselves.
Anyone you want to meet?
You know, I was wondering, I was going to ask you, I may as well do it now, I was going to ask you if you could arrange maybe for me to meet Joan London. I mean, I've met her, but, you know...
You can't pick up the phone and say, hello, Joan?
I
Mrs.
probably
Rush?
could, but what is it? Look, you could probably put in a good word for me.
Say that he's not a bad
I've talked
guy.
to him. Yeah, he's a harmless, lovable little fuzzball.
I'll call Joan for you and tell her that you're a harmless, lovable little fuzzball.
Yeah.
Keep up the great work. Will do.
There are a lot of people who think Limbaugh's lovability could translate into politics.
I don't. You know why? Because you are right.
Brothers, we love you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Rush, you want to ever be in politics?
No, as sitting here today, telling you this, I have no desire to go
You could
into
be
politics.
very effective that way.
I can't see doing the basic thing one has to do in politics.
Which is?
Put your hand out and ask people to put something in it. Money. When money is in your hand, people want to pay back, and it's never with money. And it's say goodbye to independence. It's say goodbye to who you are.
With all the stuff that's written about you, and all of the stuff that you say people make up and so on, what's the biggest misconception?
They can't discredit my views, Barbara. They can't discredit my discovery of the truth because it's not based on anything phony. But boy, if they can label me as some kind of oddball, somebody in a childhood, my father beat me, or I'm still on a mission to prove my father wrong and all this, I am a threat to a specific group of people in this country known as liberals. I don't want to be a threat. I don't think they should feel threatened. If they do, it must be because I'm saying things about... It's only the truth that hurts, Barbara. It's only the truth.
Say something lovable and modest, please. Just please say something modest.
So, I have for about an hour.
I can't remember.
Something modest about why my show is a success.
About anything.
I can credit it to the good taste and refinement of the American people.
Well, this Sunday in the Chicago ceremony, Rush will be inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame. And then there's Mad Magazine. Its readers recently voted him the winner of a poll to name the celebrity they think should receive, quote, unnecessary root canal work. Taste, as they say, is in the eye of the beholder, or should we say, the ear. You may love him or hate him, but the one thing about Rush Limbaugh is, once you have heard him, you can't ignore him. We'll be right back.